These cocky girls tried to disrespect Dakota Ditcheva, blinded by her looks. They thought a certain Dakota Ditcheva was soft.
If you compare my fighting experience, it's huge.
I love to crush dreams, so let's go.
How does a British fighter with 0 losses completely dismantle everyone the UFC has thrown at her, and do it so violently that commentators are left speechless? Dakota Ditcheva stepped into professional MMA with something that can't be taught. Not just skill, not just power, but a bone-deep understanding that every fight is a statement, every victory a warning.
Here we go! Right on the money, baby! What a kick!
By 2024, she'd become something rare. A female fighter so dominant that veteran champions looked mortal against her. So lethal that her opponents didn't just lose, they were dismantled. And the scariest part, she was still getting better. So today, we're asking the real question. How did a striker from Manchester become the most feared fighter on the planet? And what happens when she finally faces someone with nothing left to lose? This is the story of Dakota's rise to immortality. Before the knockouts, before the legend, Dakota was just the girl everyone wanted to beat. The trash talk started early.
I'm gonna be surprised when I hit her the first time too. I don't think she's been hit. Like, she hasn't been hit hard.
Her opponents didn't fear her. They envied her. They'd already written the script in their minds. She's just a striker. She'll crumble under pressure. They mistook her elegance for fragility, her calmness for weakness.
Dakota's the golden child. Yeah, she's become kind of the face of the...
On November 22, 2022, American Catherine Corjeans arrived with a flawless record and a mouth that wouldn't stop. 3 straight vicious finishes. Confidence for days. I love to crush
dreams, so let's go.
Genuinely believed she could destroy the undefeated Dakota. But there's a moment in every predator's life when prey realizes they've made a catastrophic mistake.
Front kicks again from Dakota Ditcheva. Her PFL debut featured a lot of clinch work so far, all out from distance. Oh, right hand. And there's the clinch.
And it's going to be a battle of 2 types of clinches. Corjeans, of course, looking for the takedown. Ditcheva will look to stay in this clinch and try to set up knees to the body and shots upstairs with her punches.
Fingers out of the cage. Very good. Move away. Ditcheva has relocated her camp to Coconut Creek, American top team. Conan Silveira is in her corner, as is her brother, an accomplished kickboxer himself.
Corjeans would learn this lesson in under 5 minutes. From the opening bell, Dakota didn't brawl, she controlled. Her front kicks cracked like whips, finding Corjeans' face with surgical precision. When Corjeans tried to clinch, looking for salvation, Dakota turned the cage into a prison. Knee after knee punished her ribs, her head, her will. This wasn't a fight anymore. It was a masterclass in how to break someone who thought they were unbreakable. With seconds left in the round, as Corjeans stood battered against the fence, Dakota threw one final right hand. It landed with the kind of finality that echoes through a career. Corjeans hit the canvas like a sack of sand. One hammer fist later, the referee waved it off.
There's a club and a right hand.
Big one! Dakota Ditcheva, right hand and a hammer fist! Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva!
Dakota had announced her arrival not with words, but with violence. Pure, efficient, unforgettable. 2023 brought new hunting grounds, the PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Tournament, a gauntlet designed to separate champions from pretenders. In Newcastle, Dakota faced Sweden's Malin Hermansson, another cocky fighter who'd watched Dakota's fights and decided she could do better. Hermansson even copied her pre-fight ritual, blowing kisses at the camera. It was the last mistake she'd ever make in that octagon. Dakota didn't just fight Hermansson, she disassembled her. Not with wild aggression, but with the precision of an engineer dismantling a machine.
Do we have Dakota trying to work for a takedown here, or is she just trying to work for frames so she can knee? She's using good head position at the moment.
Beautiful knee.
Brought that knee all the way up over the shoulder. Another nasty knee to the body. You heard the crowd.
This is where you don't want to be against Ditcheva. Her knees are very nasty.
Those knees to the head come from nowhere.
We saw her finish in this exact position.
The time needs the body in that finish.
The timing on her knees is different. She creates just a little bit of space. And at that point. Beautiful takedown.
Excellent work. Ditcheva just put her right leg behind the hips of Malin Hermanson.
She changed stances like prime stylebender, working her jab, then shifting to those devastating knees that had become her signature. Hermanson was thrown around like a rag doll. When Dakota took her back, wrapping the rear naked choke tight, Hermanson had no choice but to fade into sleep. First submission win. A different layer of the weapon.
Round number 1, declaring your winner due to submission via a rear naked choke. Dangerous Dakota Ditcheva!
A different layer of the weapon revealed, but the tournament wasn't done testing her.
Did you want to showcase your ground skills?
Yeah, I really did, and I came out and I did it tonight, and I'm very proud of myself for that. And show that I'm not just a striker in these flyweights. You need to be careful.
Paris, the semifinal. Cornelia Holmes waited, a seasoned wrestler with submission experience, someone who'd faced Dakota's name on her contract and genuinely believed she could solve the puzzle. You compare my fighting experience to hers.
If you compare my fighting experience, it's huge.
Holmes boasted before the fight. It's not even close. I have years more rounds than her. The tension at the face-off was ice cold. Both women knew what was coming. Within 30 seconds, Holmes shot for a takedown. For a moment, just a moment, doubt flickered. Could this be the one?
Strong work to get Dakota down. Dakota not conceding anything, right back to the feet, making home work for this one. There's that ATT room paying its dividends early for Dakota Ditcheva. Back to her feet, but Cornelia Holm pressing.
Looks like she's got 2 hands on 1 wrist here. She's trying to break this grip of Cornelia Holm, which is going to be difficult to do given how strong Holm is.
Nice job here from Ditcheva. Keeping her legs wide, so won't drop to a
Try and catch her on the way in or potentially focus on takedown defense.
Oh, nasty right hand.
What a right hand that was.
It's a laser. She always hits her target with that right hand.
Gets a hold of the leg though.
Cornelia Holm.
Good job by Ditcheva.
What pain felt like.
Try and catch her on the way in or potentially focus on takedown defense.
Oh, nasty right hand.
What a right hand that was.
It's a laser. She always hits her target with that right hand.
Gets a hold of the leg though.
Cornelia Holm.
In the final round, Dakota threw a crisp 1-2. Holmes crumbled. A kick ended the conversation. The semifinal victory sent a message. There are no levels to this. Not submissions, not wrestling, not anything.
About to put away.
Oh! The power! Dakota Ditcheva with the 3rd round finish!
In December 2023, in Dublin, Italy's Valentina Scatizzi made the same mistake everyone else had made. She assumed Dakota was just a pretty fighter, an overrated Barbie doll who'd gotten lucky. I'm like an animal.
He's the real warrior. I'm like an animal, you know, so doesn't matter who I have in front of me. I won't just go to the cage, smash.
Scatizzi said before their fight. Dakota responded by destroying her. From the opening bell, Scatizzi walked forward with aggression.
And running right into some strikes from Dakota Ditcheva.
I think this is the only way that Scatizzi can win this, make it there. Oh, lovely front kicks. Go off it. Beautiful.
This is good pressure though from Scatizzi.
Very
She's
nice.
got to get around these legs. Oh, knees.
This clinch knee is, we saw Dakota Ditcheva finish her fight last.
Trying to bully her way in, Dakota made her pay for every step. Her front kick reset the distance. Her clinched knees turned Scatizzi's ribs into hamburger. When Scatizzi tried a takedown, Dakota's strength was too much. They traded in the center of the octagon, and that's when it got darker. Dakota caught her with
And we know how effective a palm strike can be. Bas Rutten, palm strike to the liver.
I mean, you look at the work by Valentina Scatizzi, a lot of effort expended to try and get Dakota down. And look, that eye, guys, we might not see number 2 with that eye looking like it does.
I think the doctor's going to step in and stop this. I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye.
Another right hand there from Dakota Ditcheva.
The punishment was relentless. Skitizzi's left eye swelled so grotesquely that she couldn't see. Dakota, showing no mercy, attacked the damaged eye until the ringside physician had seen enough. TKO. Final. Brutal. Skitizzi had wanted to bully a pretty girl. Instead, she'd found a monster. Dakota danced around the cage, claimed her belt, and collected $100,000. But this was just the appetizer. 2024, the PFL American season, the real stage, the one where the winner doesn't get a belt, she gets $1 million and a claim to the throne of women's MMA. This was Dakota's moment to answer the question that had been building for 2 years. Is she elite or is she a phenomenon? On June 13th in Connecticut, Australian Chelsea Hackett arrived with a chip on her shoulder. She'd only lost to the toughest opponents, and she carried a grudge that had been simmering since the moment Dakota's name was announced. "Dakota's been on my list," Hackett said, and she meant every word. No handshake at the face-off, no respect. Just two fighters who understood the stakes. Dakota didn't let her get comfortable. Within seconds, a thunderbolt right hand planted Hackett on her backside. As Hackett tried to recover, Dakota unleashed a tsunami of hammer shots. The message was sent before Hackett could even fight back. When Hackett made it to her feet, she walked into knees. More knees. Dakota had perfected the art of breaking bodies, and she deployed it without mercy. Every exchange ended the same way. Hackett eating strikes, Dakota executing. Out of nowhere, Dakota unleashed a flurry of quick punches to Hackett's body, drilling deep into the solar plexus. Hackett crumpled in agony, and she needed to be helped from the octagon. Next came the narrative of the season. Jessica Bishop. Bishop was the anti-Dakota, a country fighter who talked about Dakota being an industry plant, a manufactured star rather than a real champion. She was the underdog story everyone was rooting for. From the opening bell, Dakota tested her range. Bishop tried to take her down, tried to force the fight into her world. Dakota wasn't interested. She turned down Bishop's wrestling attempts and snuck in submission attempts that Bishop desperately defended against. But submission wrestling wasn't how this fight would end.
So we threw a little sprinkle on by TKO or KO. I will tell you the confidence that she's going to have now getting up is going to be unbelievable.
Their knee, beautiful knee from the plum. And Ditcheva beckons Jenna Bishop back to her feet and goes immediately on the attack. Bishop in trouble. And that does it. First round finish, and Dakota Ditcheva silences the doubters.
Dakota landed a series of sharp knees that sent Bishop crashing. Before her opponent could recover, Dakota pounced, asking her to stand up only to follow with a parade of finishing blows that ended the fight in stunning fashion. The crowd erupted. Dakota had sent a message to everyone watching in that arena and beyond. There are no surprises here. There is only inevitability. The final. $1 million. Championship glory. The chance to prove beyond any shadow of doubt that Dakota was the best female fighter on the planet, better than anyone the UFC had ever produced. Her opponent, Taila Santos. Santos was a former UFC flyweight title challenger. She'd lost a razor-thin split decision to Valentina Shevchenko for the belt. She'd only been beaten by the very best. And now, frustrated by that loss, she'd crossed over to the PFL. 3 straight wins. A warrior looking for redemption. This wasn't a manufactured villain. This was a real test. Before the fight, the trash talk escalated. Santos put on lipstick, mocking Dakota's Barbie aesthetic. She questioned whether Dakota had ever faced true elite competition. She exuded confidence, the kind that only comes from having been at the very top. At the face-off, both women radiated conviction. Dakota, 13 wins, 0 losses. Santos, 22 wins, but 3 losses to elite
An opportunity with these double underhooks to get Dakota Ditcheva to the ground.
Nice job by Ditcheva to turn it around on her. Twisting body lock, put Santos on the bottom.
Training with all those larger women at American Top Team paying some dividends. And that was the first time we saw Ditcheva go to that shovel hook.
Santos is biting on that jab feint. She needs to be careful. That left hook's coming around the side. Look at the size difference compared. And I love the fact that every time Dakota pulls that lead leg out of the way, she starts to pressure immediately, straight away with the elbow there, Randy, yes. Back on the takedown defense here. Santos now going low. She's going to try for that reap on that leg if she gets that body lock again. Head position, paying dividends for Santos.
Keep touching her. Right there.
Red corner, Aaron Aben. Cody Conan Silveira.
Control your breathing. Yes, good knee there. Watch the hook. Watch the hook.
Nice takedown.
Immediately back to the feet. Dakota Ditcheva not capitulating on that takedown from Tyler Santos.
Good hand control by Ditcheva, making it difficult for Santos to get a lock and keep her there. She's fighting hands well.
It's a lot of work for half a second of time on the ground.
Nice job.
Strips the grip, spinning elbow off the fence. And again, she's got Santos biting on those feints really well.
Push kick twice. Oh. And the right hand cracking off the side of Tyler Santos' face. Beautiful hook from Dakota Ditcheva. When you have a size advantage, that's fine. When you also have a speed advantage, it gets a little bit unfair in these striking exchanges.
She's tenderizing that lead leg as well. The longer the fight goes, the more that leg is going to become bruised and swollen.
Outside the range of that flurry from Santos, Ditcheva on the retreat, seeing everything. Push kick again.
Santos pushes forward with a jab, finds herself back in the center again. Dakota keeps...
And then the real fight began. From the opening seconds, Dakota was different. Not more aggressive, but more complete. She tested the waters with her jab, and when Santos tried to grapple, Dakota overpowered her. She reversed takedowns. She landed that signature front kick in Santos's face. With every exchange, Santos's expression changed. The confidence wasn't gone. It was being replaced by something worse, understanding. Understanding that Dakota was on another level entirely. When they clinched, Dakota unleashed a combination of knees against the fence that had the commentators gasping. With seconds left in the round, a thudding knee and a flurry of body shots absolutely shattered Santos's midsection. The Brazilian's will evaporated. The referee was saving her from what would have been a complete dismantling. When the final bell sounded, Dakota had won decisively, not just beaten Santos, dominated her. In the octagon, Dakota put on lipstick, then embraced her team, her mother, and former kickboxing world champion Lisa Howarth. She roared with the joy of someone who just claimed her throne. Britain's first female MMA world champion, $1 million richer, still undefeated, still the predator everyone feared. Dakota Ditcheva came into the sport and broke every rule of how women's MMA was supposed to work. No long grinding rise, no moral journey, just immediate, violent, terrifying excellence. The question we asked at the beginning, how did she become the most feared fighter on the planet, has its answer now. She simply refused to be stopped. Comment below. What was your favorite Dakota finish? And if you want to see part 2 of her journey, hit that subscribe button. We'll be right here. Thanks for watching.